I want to experience all aspects of the Yu-Gi-Oh! Trading card game at their fullest extent, and in order to do that I've decided to start from scratch while locking my progress behind the joy of opening booster packs and trading with fellow duelists. We're reliving my childhood love for the game while also building towards competitive success. Or in other words, we are playing Yu-Gi-Oh! Properly. Subscribe. Happy New Year, fellas. I hope you all enjoyed the festives and are ready for the best year of your lives. Today is all about adapting and overcoming. When the competitive Yu-Gi-Oh! Scene develops into a sort of tier 0 format, it's so easy to just give up or stop playing for a few months. Personally though, I see it as a challenge. How can we change what we're doing to come out on top? Is it possible to rebuild our playstyle in a way that takes advantage of the top decks? It's an uphill battle for sure, but that makes it all the more fun. In the last one, we pulled some bangers and even got to finally perform the Raz Disciple lock, but today, the focus is primarily on deck building and trading to assassinate all tier zoo decks in preparation for the regional tournament we have in January. First things first though, let's crack some packs.
Chicken.
Here we go, we got some big moves to be making today, but we also have some big pulls to be making, of course, and today we are opening some Darkwing Blast, £20, 8 packs in total. We are hoping for some buy steals. Even Lubellion I would play. We could go heavier on the buy steal package, not just use them as hand traps, but let's see what we get before we make any big decisions. So, cracking into our packs here, we have Naturia, Camellia, Biorock Dragon, Amazona Spiritualist, Laughing Puffin, and first pack, let's fucking go, baby! Bysteel, Magnamoot. I seen the B, I seen it was a super rare, I was like, come on bro, this is it. Magnamoot, very, very good card. Searches a dragon in the end phase. This can search Keeper of Dragon Magic. That's one of the huge synergies of our deck. It searches a starter, and that's perfect. Magnamoot, very good, very expensive, super rare as well. Preparations, Cucumber Horse, fuck this weird looking card, man. Tri-Brigade Showdown, and Goatee Cosmos. Wow, what a start. What a start, holy. Okay, let's keep that going. Let's see if we can pull all the buy steals. We have Amazona's Pet Liger King. Tilting, we got the trains, and oh, I just realized it's entrainment. It's not entertainment. I don't think I've noticed that before, what the hell? Freki the Runic Fangs, we have Biorock Dragon, and a Synchro ultra rare Black Winged Assault Dragon. Don't think this has much value to it, the Black Winged stuff typically doesn't in here, but hey, we'll take it. It's an ultra rare, it's like the boss monster. Very cool. Maybe we can trade that off for something. Tearlament Scream, very nice in Tearlaments. Alright, next up, let's see, can we get Kashtira Fenrir is also a very expensive card in the set. Stars Align Across the Milky Way, we have Biorock Dragon, Decisive Battle of Golgonda, Kashtira Ogre, and oh, Snopio Shade of the Goatee. We got the jellyfish, or the octopus. Definitely not a jellyfish. Alright, very cool. Another super rare there, we have Iron Digger and some more commons. Very, very nice. Don't think there's anything common-wise that we're looking for in this set, so it's literally just the buy steals. And maybe Fenrir. We might play Fenrir as like a decent staple, or we might just trade it off. It depends. It really depends on how we break our deck down later. But Stars Align Across the Milky Way, Celestial Apparatus Tesla, Tobari the Sky Ninja, we have Amazona Spiritualist, and Blackwing Shamal the Sandstorm. Does start with a B, but it's not a buy steal. Unfortunate. Okay, another Blackwing card. Soul Scissors, Noodles, Preparations. We've had that in like every pack, I swear. And the Mole Cricket. That busted the Naturia stuff that we lost to in the last episode. Crazy deck with the Ishizu stuff. We have Hanshi, Kudo Spirit, Ninjutsu Art of Dancing Leaves, Prediction Princess, Bibliomuse, Bibliothèque, French for library, Amazona's Pet Liger King, a spell in the hollow slot. We have Valance, Wakening, Solo Activation, Ultra Rare. 2 Ultra Rares, man, that's really nice. 2 not so good Ultra Rares though, unfortunately. But hey, we'll take it. Shiny for the binder. Very cool. We have our Hot Wheels here, scissors, and some more. Alright, 3 packs left. Can we at least pull like a Druis Worm or a Saronir. Druis Worm is like, last I checked, £7, which is crazy. Obviously Magnamoot's the craziest one, but we've already pulled one, so we're happy either way. Zonda the Dust, we have Tabari the Sky Ninja as a spell in the holo slot. We have Trains again, Celestial, we have Kashtira Birth. You can search this off the Unicorn, of course, but as of right now, we are not playing any Kashtiras, so we do not need that. And another Mole Cricket in the back there. 2 packs remain. I'm happy with the Magnamoot, but can we pull another Bastille monster? We have the Bibliothèque, Amazonas Augusta, Scareclaw Decline, Silent Wolf Kalupo at Fusion Monster. Okay, another Ultra Rare, what the hell? Mazin, the Battle Ninja. All of these terrible Ultra Rares just do not compare to Fenrir, it's crazy. Very nice though, 3 Ultras, 3 shiny Ultra Rares for the binder. Some more Hot Wheels, and that is going to take us to our final pack of Darkwing Blast today. 1 Magnamoot down, 2 to go. Probably just going to have to trade for the other 2 at this point. We have Naturia Camellia, Celestial Apparatus Tesla, Laughing Puffin, Kashtira Ogre. Okay, we have an effect monster in the holo slot. Very nice, that's what we like to see. Twin Shadow on the back there. Twin Saw on the back there. Oh, all these traps at the back. What's going on in the back row? Original Bamboo Sword. And the final pool of Darkwing Blast today is Baku, the Beast Ninja. Not what we were looking for, however. Boom, baby. Very, very good cards. Alright, so with all the cards we have now been stockpiling, we have the updated version of our trade binder. We got some wheeling and dealing to do. And yeah, once again, all of the value, all the big money is on the front page here. The Skill Drain, the Sprite Elf, the Kurikara. And then the rest is all just kind of like mini monies. So we have Neko, Main King, you know, stuff like that. The Saracenian, all of our OTS supers, and anything that's maybe at least a little bit desirable towards the front. And then that sort of falls off as we get towards the end here. Just literally every super rare card or like playable card we've pulled is in here to some extent. So yeah, just a bunch of pages of supers, and that's literally it. Although like a month or 2 ago I was planning to trade off all of the extra Despia bits that we pulled. Glad we didn't. So at the back of the binder here we have all of the cards that we want to keep just in case we need to use them at some point in the future. And I am planning to be making use of all of our Despia stuff. Also, super rare branded in red, still a very expensive card, which is surprising. We got some other stuff here. Keeping the Veilers in case we do want to play with these, because they make the Bystials live going second turn 1, assuming our opponent's not on like a light or dark deck. So that's just something to keep in mind, and yeah, we don't want to trade them off too early. But I was doing some maths, right, and I have a rough idea of all the cards I want to pick up now, and that comes to £177, man. We do not have that much value in this binder, so I think it's going to come down to dismantling some pieces of our deck, maybe trading off things like the DPE engine here and there, maybe even getting rid of the Scorpio, who knows. We need to plan what we are going to do, but we do have every card in here at our disposal as well. We have a Secret Rare Foolish Burial that I'm considering just getting rid of because I don't know if we're going to be playing that going forward. Don't know if we're going to have the room for it. There's a lot of stuff to figure out, and we got to prioritize different things so that we have a playable deck while we're wheeling and dealing. Dude, side deck, I mean, we have a Druis Worm. We could probably trade off the Crow if we are trading into Bystials, although the Bystials are very expensive, so maybe a placeholder. Yeah, there's a couple of cards in here that we can ditch, thankfully. Whew! Alright, lots to do. Let's get on with it. So the regional tournament we're leading up to is on January 29th. The only new product that comes out between now and then is Amazing Defenders, and I don't think that's going to shake up the meta too much. We already got the last ban list cementing Tears as the top deck for now, so there's going to be no surprises that get in our way when it comes to the current format. With Tearzu being the uncontested best deck, most people are either going to be running it or running ways to defeat it, and that is our first point in understanding how to build our deck. The best ways to beat Tearzu is to lock them out of the graveyard, but because they have ways to play on both players' turn, you need a continuous way to lock them out. That's why things like D-Barrier and Different Dimension Ground aren't quite as strong. Instead, we see things like D-Shifter, Abyss Dweller, D-Fissure, and Macrocosmos. If we want to maximize our chances of doing well, we need to take all of this into consideration. So if we could build our deck to inherently play around all of this while teching it against Tearzu,
we should be in a very good spot. This means going back to the drawing board and completely reworking our deck, which I have been doing, and while I don't know an exact optimized list, I do have a few ideas that I want to try out. Alright, so this is our current deck list, and after tinkering around and theory crafting a little bit, I think this is roughly what we're aiming for. We call this the Tier Zoo Killer. You see, if your deck can play around things like D-Shifter, you can play D-Shifter yourself. But since our deck does actually have better plays that involve the graveyard, it's been thrown into the side with a little bit of spice. Keeper of Dragon Magic has ascended to God tier status because it remains the best starter in the deck, while also synergizing with Magnamut, which is huge for consistency, especially going second, and he also just doesn't give a heck about D-Shifter. Obviously, combos are going to be a lot different now, so I will show you a couple of plays here. The deck is a lot more fluid in its lines of play, meaning you have a lot more options available in different situations. So the first combo I want to show you is just Keeper of Dragon Magic by itself, while we're not under the threat of Shifter or Bestials or anything, even though this line of play does play into Shifter better than our previous list. So like before, normal summoning Keeper, discarding a card and searching for instant fusion, we're going to summon the boy. We can't get rid of this card, it's too good. Ambulance to the field, which is going to search us for the frog, the polymerization scale. Then we'll use the second effect of Ambulance, tributing Keeper specifically to summon out a Cobra, who is of course going to search us for a branded fusion. And then we want to use the scale here so that we get the Ambulance off the field, fusing the Cobra and the Ambulance into a Dragostapelia, and then we can play our branded fusion from here. Firing that off, this is where the new Bestial Lubellion comes into play. You might have seen that in the list, wondering why that's in there. We can dump this with branded fusion to summon Albion, and then triggering the Albion here, we're going to banish both the Albaz and the Ambulance to summon out our Mirror Jade, as we usually would. Now, where things get really fun is that Albion is a level 6 or higher Dark Dragon on the field. We can tribute that with the Lubellion to special summon itself, and then activate Lubellion's effect on field to place a continuous branded spell or trap. So we go for Beast here for the pop, but it can be regained, it can be branded lost as well. And then of course in the end phase we have the Albion effect to set a branded spell or trap. Could be branded in red, could be branded banishment, could even be branded retribution. But all that from just a normal summoned Keeper alone is very, very nice. Now this second combo I want to show you is just an interaction I love about the deck. So assuming we're going second here, we're going to Shifter our opponent when they have a monster on field, and then we're going to Magnamut. We can banish the Shifter, or if they're on a light or dark deck, we can banish a monster in their graveyard, summon a Magnamut and activate the effect. Hopefully the Shifter locks them out of their plays, and in the end phase we can search for Keeper of Dragon Magic. Passing over to us, we draw a card for turn, and then we can just pop off from here, baby. Going second, there's so many things we can do, but normal summoning Keeper will discard a card. Obviously it gets banished. This is why we can't play Scorpio, because under Shifter you can't activate the effect. But searching for instant fusion, we can activate that, summon the Ambulance, and once again we just activate the Ambulance effect. And none of these require the graveyard, so we search for the Pendulum Scale, tribute the Ambulance to summon out the Cobra. Cobra can search for the branded fusion of course, and even without the graveyard we can still activate branded fusion under Shifter, banishing Albaz and a Despian Tragedy or Mercurier to gain advantage. So we summon the Lubellion here, chainlink 1 Lubellion, discard a card, chainlink 2 Tragedy, we can add like Dramaturge or, you know, any Despia monster. Dramaturge essentially guarantees the KO, however here we just add an Aliber because I just don't have a Dramaturge apparently. Resolving Lubellion, we can summon a lot of different things here, however because Shifter stops applying at the end of our turn, we can just slap a Mirror Jade on the board and then it has its effect on our opponent's turn if they somehow survive. And then of course we do still have the Frog in our hand that we searched, so we can slam that in the scale, activate the effect, fuse the Despia we searched with any monster on the field to summon out a Masquerade or Curitus or, you know, whatever. Then of course if it was Dramaturge we used, it would summon itself back, give us an additional interruption, another 3000 damage. That's game, okay? And that's barely even scratching the surface when it comes to talking about this deck. For example, the scale that we searched, the Frog, always gives us access to Guardian Chimera as well. Assuming we're going first and play into D-Shifter, Keeper of Dragon Magic by itself gets to double Masquerade plus like Dramaturge. And heck, if we already have access to branded opening or branded fusion, Keeper can just search instant fusion and summon Millenniumize, so we don't have to care about Ash. Not that anyone's playing that right now, but hey, it's an option. And speaking of options, another card I really want to consider is Borreload Furious Dragon. With all the hand trap Bestials being Dark Dragons and Keeper also being Dark Dragon, we could just easily make this with the extra bodies and have an additional interruption. We could even super poly for this occasionally. Don't know if that will ever really come up, but it is an option to consider. So now, with a decent idea of what we need, let's get the ball rolling, set up some trades, and head to locals in the meantime.
Well, guess we ain't going to locals today. Damn it, where am I going to get B-roll from?
Unable to go to locals over the festive period, it was time to start the rigorous training for this upcoming regional. The end game. When the competition is tier 0, we have to be tier -1. Testing the new build idea against as many tier 0 decks as possible online left me with many thoughts. Summoning Dark Law or seeing Shifter with a good hand is almost an instant win in most cases. However, just as we're playing to their weakness, they also have an ace card up their sleeve. That ace card is an alcoholic tapir. With the right hand, even under Shifter, they can spit out a Baguska and stall us out for a couple turns. Also, if we don't see any anti-tier 0 cards, we have a real game on our hands. So it's going to be a lot tougher than I expected, but it is on.
Whew, it has been a hot minute. The festives have come and gone. Happy holidays, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. And we have been up to a lot of goodness in the background here over the festive period. We've made a lot of good trades, and I was waiting for the biggest trade to come in the mail. It has been in the mail for about 3 weeks now. The postman's really busy, hasn't quite arrived yet, so we're having to push this episode out without that bang at the end, which is what I was waiting for, unfortunately. But we do have some smaller trades to get into here, and they're nothing to scoff at. We got some value in here. So this one is from Michael on the trade group. Very, very pleased to be receiving our second Bestial Magnamut baby. This was traded for the Sprite Elf and a bunch of other supers out of our binder. Crazy how expensive this super rare is, dude. But that is our second Magnamut. We still need to pick up a third at some point. Hopefully we can pull it ourselves, but yeah. 2 down, 1 to go. And then this other trade we have here is from Sam on the trade group. He took the Kurakara and the Nekamain King off our hands in exchange for the Blazing Cartesia, the Virtuous. This has gone up a lot since then, so we've definitely plussed in value because there has been a lot of great branded and sort of lore support announced recently. But Blazing Cartesia and Bestial Magnamut are our trades that we're ending on today. We've got a couple set up at locals, and then we have that huge trade that we're waiting on in the mail. But I am loving this new version of the deck. I do feel like the consistency can be tweaked a little bit. Maybe we should be playing Prosperity, but then that's a lot of value to chase after in such a short time. However, a new batch of regionals were recently announced, and there is another Scottish regional in February. So maybe if we don't top the one in January, we can stretch out to the one in February. But yes, like I said, we have a huge trade on its way in the mail. Stay tuned to see what went down. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you then. Like, subscribe. Yeah, adios, bye, bye, bye.